Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rudol's Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at what I personally believe to be the best Tier 10 heavy available, at least right now, in World of Tanks Blitz. There are a lot of heavy tanks in the game, and a lot of them are great at whatever you want them to do. For example, the Type 71 is fantastic for breakthrough and frontline engagements. The Type 71 has the armor, it has the mobility, and it has the actually pretty good gun to deal with a lot in front of it. If you go to the other side of the spectrum to like a T90 HEAVY, this tank has incredible mobility and a great gun, but that's it. It doesn't have armor, it doesn't have anything else, just mobility and a gun. These two tanks are very different playstyles and it allows you to complete a lot of different roles. However, the 113 is the tank that I believe to be the best Tier 10 heavy for a couple reasons. For example, the 113 has a great gun, 3,199 DPM if you're running calibrated shells, 3,440 DPM if you're running rammer. That's insane DPM. Not only does it have great damage per minute, but the 113 also features great mobility, going at a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour, which allows this tank to deal with really anything when it comes to mobility. It's also got 40 degrees of traverse speed, so you've got mobility, you've got damage per minute, and the final checkbox is armor. Does it have a lot of armor? Well, I wouldn't say the 113 is the most armored heavy out there, because it's not. Vehicles like the Type 71, vehicles like the 60 TP IS-4, IS-7, Super Conqueror, all kind of laugh at this tank's armor. But, while it may not have insane armor, it has enough to get the job done. It's great at side scraping, and not only is it great at side scraping, but its turret is pretty solid. So, you're going to get some bounces. It's really just the upper plate that's not fantastic. The upper plate on this vehicle is definitely going to get chewed out. So, it's a weird armor profile, but I like it. It's not the best, as I said, but you will get bounces with it. The really only bad part about the 113 that I don't like is the way the gun is mounted. The turret is directly center of the vehicle. And what that means is that when you decide to poke, you are usually showcasing a big portion of your vehicle to your opponents when you're poking your hull out, which is not always the best situation. But it's also not awful. I mean, as long as you can side scrape well with it, you should be completely fine. We got the enemy 50B pushing into the mid, and oh wow, I cannot believe that my gun just did that. The 113's on movement dispersion is not great, I'll be honest. It's quite poor, actually. And what that means is that when you're shooting at opponents on the move, you can see the gun blooms quite a bit. So you want to sit still, aim it on their weak spots, and that's where your .326 dispersion is going to come into play. Now this poor AMX 50B is being absolutely torn apart. 263 finishes him off, and with that, not a bad start to this game at all. In fact, it's already basically over now that I'm looking at it. Wow, that was a fast battle. I didn't even get to showcase really a lot about the tank, but I guess this is a good example to show where the 113 is going to be able to hopefully farm a bit of damage. Or not. Or we're going to bounce the 57 heavy. Oh boy, that's a Yag. Haha! I can't believe we actually bounced that. I'm going to be real. This tank is not known for getting bounces like that. But there you go. Nice slap into the Yag once. And even though the Yag is appearing to YOLO me, I'm not all too worried because we got plenty of DPM. In fact, more than the Yag, even though it's a tank destroyer. So we've already been able to take over 800 hit points off of his tank. And at this point, he's going to slap me for 825, but we're going to slap him back for 400. Now we're going to use that mobility this tank carries and sit right here. Maybe we can get a shell into the 57 heavy. I'm going to, honestly. I don't really care about this Yag too much. I mean, the Yag might be able to shoot me again, but it doesn't worry me a crazy amount. Right now, the biggest worry is me being rushed by the rest of the enemy team, like the T100 LT and everything else. So yeah, a little bit worried more about that. Now, you will notice that this tank is not the best when it comes to its overall armor. I mean, again, we're just rushed here. We die. We did 3,800 damage. I'm actually glad that I did just leave that Yag alive because it allowed me to get a bit more farm out in this battle. But yeah, armor's not great. You saw that. We didn't really bounce anything. Look at all these pens on my upper plate, on the lower plate. We didn't bounce much. But even with not bouncing any shells, we did 3,800 damage. That's a lot when you think about it. The fact that this game was so short and we were able to farm that much damage, that's really where the 113 is great. You get into the battle fast enough to get that damage out, and you really just reek in those damage numbers. So the first game, we finished top on the team at 3,812, and even though we didn't live, and we might have been able to do a bit more, I'm glad with how the battle ended up turning out. We were literally able to stop every single one of their tanks from doing anything. They all shot me, they all got stuck in that corner, and all died in that corner. To be honest, I'm not really sure why the Sheridan and T100 LT were there. I was just expecting to deal with the 57 heavy and the Yag. and then 2 lights started shooting me. I was like, oh, but you know what? I'll take a win, and that was a fairly easy win at that. Here we are. Second battle, we have a 50 TP and WZ-111-14. We also have a 57 heavy up against us, but that's it when it comes to their heavy lineup, which means that it seems like medium side's going to be a bit stronger with the TVP 5051 and the Sheridan. So, I'm trying to think of how I want to deal with this. We got a lot of heavies, and with a lot of heavies, I'm not sure what would be the smarter decision here. I'm going to try and just push really aggressive on the heavy side. Oh, but our 50B is going towards medium side. You know what? I'm going to help out my mediums, because none of the mediums are going to medium side. So I'm going to do... What did they make the new control wheel? There it is. And then A. Driving to A. I think that it's more important to help out my mediums at this point rather than the other side. Now, unfortunately, we did get spotted, but we're fast enough that we were not able to be shot by that enemy WZ-111. We can see that somebody's capturing base A, which is good. That means I can just full send it. When it comes to the 113, the fact that we've got mobility and we're a heavy and hit points means that we can easily deal with really anything on medium side. So there's the Sheridan, and there's an easy slap into that Sheridan already. TVP's over here, and I'm just going to keep on pushing over towards the Sheridan. Maybe we can get another shell out. Come on, and bonk. There you go. That's already half of that Sheridan's hit points cleared, which is quite a bit when you think about it. We got the Foch off to the side. We're going to get an easy shell to that Foch and a nice roll of 480. And yeah, this Foch is already down to a one-shot for us, which means all we need to do is load in a heat shell just to confirm the kill, and he's dead. All right, well, that's not too bad at all. I mean, we did lose a 50B, but we were able to clear 2 tier 10s in that process, so I can't really complain all too much. We got the WZ-113 Lucky, who we got a nice slap into. Bit of a low roll, but you know what? I'll take any pen I can get. And we got the TVP 5051 off to the side, who I'm just going to drive right over and get a nice HE slap into. Yeah, nice. Okay, at this point, we got the WZ-113 GFT in the back, who is going to pen me, but we're going to get a nice slap back in for 400. So, again, we're getting some nice taps here and there out. Let's reload again. Let's see if we can get another shell into the WZ. There you have it. Nice slap. 296, and with that, the WZ is now a one-shot. Okay, we're getting out some big slaps. We're doing our job. At this point, I've got to figure out what is the best decision, and I don't want to be shot by the TVP. By far, the TVP is the biggest threat, but now they don't have a TVP. They do have the Sheridan, who was able to get a max roll into me. Really, game? Really? That is super cringe. But Sheridan decides to run out into the open in front of me, allowing me to get a very easy shell out. Now the Sheridan's going to run this way. He's going to run into the wall. Allows me to not pen my HE. Thank you very much, Wargaming. That sucks. Oh boy. Well, for now, I'm just going to sit right here. I think this is the smartest decision to make, is to chill right here. That way, if the WZ tries to get on my side, we should be fine. I'm going to push over here. Come on, where's the Sheridan? Hello? Oh, there he is. Really? I have nothing else to say. I am speechless. Just really. Okay. This game is cringe. There you go. Nice. Okay. We were able to clear the Sheridan. With that, we've dealt 4,460 damage this battle, and the only player left I'm looking for is that Chinese TD. I knew it. He literally did not move a muscle the entire battle, which allows me to load in a heat shell. Unfortunately, he put on reactive right before we hit him with that heat shell, which means he actually lived, but I don't know if it's going to help him all too much. I think he's still going to die, yeah. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A great example to showcase why I believe the 113 is the best tier 10 heavy currently. You just watched me absolutely dominate the enemy team, dealing 4,718 damage, pulling out an ace, and I'd be honest, I probably won this team the battle. I'll give the 50B credit. The 50B helped me out big time. Even though he died, he was able to clip the enemy Foch, which allowed me to finish him off, and he was able to distract the enemies. Same for the Chieftain, where I was able to farm off of them. That's really what you want to do with the 113. You never want to be the main focus, but if you use the tank correctly and you let your opponents take the shells for you, especially the more heavily armored ones, which unfortunately we really didn't have this game, but if you do, then it allows you to get that opportunity to get a huge chunk out, which we did in this battle. So not a bad game at all. I really like the 113. It's an absolutely fantastic heavy, and I wouldn't suggest to go for this tank if you're an average player, but definitely if you're an experienced player, it is the way to go. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.